Coach, year number 2 on the hill. Lots of excitement. The expectations are getting higher as you finally were able to implement your system and your program into the Syracuse football system.
Well, we got to get our mojo going. Hashtag. Well, you know, I think that any time that you get a second year and the kids get a better understanding of what you're trying to do and a better understanding of what we want and an understanding of the coaches, I think you're going to have a better performance on the football field. We had a lot of injuries last year. We got to play a lot of young men. We got a lot of returners coming back. It's a positive and a negative because a lot of those returners are still young and they need to grow into their bodies, and they definitely need to grow up in this league because the ACC and the ACC Atlantic is a big boy league. But we like the youth, we like the underbelly of our football team, and we think we're getting better every day.
Year 2 for you, what was the first year like for your transition coming from Bowling Green, the MAC program there, and you come over to the ACC, you get up here with the big boys, you know, Florida State, Clemson's, and just what was the transition like for you as a coach? Well,
the big thing is you need to go, every coach will tell you that you need to go through the league once. And going through the league once, you got to see exactly what everybody had. And in Clemson's situation, you got to see what their backups look like because the score got so out of whack so quickly. And then you realize what you need to go out and recruit and what you will take and what you will not settle for, because in taking certain individuals just means that you're not going to have success in this league, and that's just not an option. So I think not only does it help the head coaches, but it helps the assistant coaches to go out and get the type of student athletes that you need to be successful in this league.
Coach, a lot of excitement about the type of offense that you run. Obviously, it's going to start with the quarterback. You've got junior Eric Dungey coming back. Keeping him healthy has been an issue with him throughout his career. But if he's healthy, he could be one of the top quarterbacks in the Atlantic Coast Conference this year.
You know, he was ranked in one of the top 10 quarterbacks when he went out the Clemson game. We were 4-4. We had 14 plays deep into the Clemson game. He was out, and we didn't win another game. We went 0-4 in November. Now, one person should not have that much clout over a football team, but Eric Dungey is one of our better players, and he is extremely exceptional. Now, we do think that we have more depth at that quarterback position than we've ever had before, and we do have the backup, Zach Mahoney, coming back, but we've got some redshirt freshmen and some hotshot freshmen that are coming in, and we think that we've probably strengthened that position as much as anywhere on our football team. And hopefully with that extra depth, if we get in a situation where we have to win a game or two in November, that we're more capable of doing it than we were last year.
Mojo mentioned keeping him healthy. Your offense, everybody talks about it, how great it could be. There is a few question marks, though, around the offensive line. How confident are you going into the season with your offensive line and keeping Dungey healthy?
Well, first of all, we're not very deep, but we are good, and we're good across the front. We've got, I would say we've got one or two really good backups, and then we start to have a little bit of a drop-off. The big deal with last year was that we got senior offensive linemen hurt game 1, game 2, game 3. We went from 3 seniors being on the offensive line. I shouldn't say 3. I think it was 3. And to all of a sudden, I know we lost at least 2. Like, I can go on record with 2. And then, boom, they're gone. And now you're playing with young freshmen, young sophomores who really just weren't ready for the jump, physically ready for the jump, and mentally tough enough. Those guys got to play last year, so hopefully that gives us more depth. And with the starters that we got coming back, hopefully we can miss the injury bug at that position and give us a better opportunity to have success in the league.
As far as your skill position players, we're talking to Dino Babers, head coach of Syracuse University, Dante Strickland, Steve Ishmael, 2 of the guys that you're going to lean to early on. But are there anybody that we're going to watch coming through, some of the younger kids that you expect to play a big part as the season progresses?
Mojo, I never talk about those young guys until they play on the football field. Okay. I can recruit them, and I'll say their name, but I'm not going to talk about them because they haven't played college football yet. No matter how good their high school program is, no matter what kind of level of football they played in high school, they haven't played college football, and they haven't played in the ACC Atlantic. So we think we've got a really good class of freshmen. We really think that there's a bunch of them that are going to come in and contribute. Whether they're going to be starters, I don't know, but I think there's going to be some guys that are going to be on the football field, and they're going to need to grow up real fast because our 4th non-conference game is Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at night. And hopefully, I want them to call the National Guard to get us out there, because if they do that, that means we did something really, really good.
A young player that you can talk about who played last year for you a little bit is Mo Neal. We're from a radio station in Gastonia, so we got to see him a lot at Forest View. Last year, touches the ball, first thing, takes it to the end zone. This year, there's been some question marks about, I don't know exactly what you're going to do with him or where you're moving him. People have said the slot. Where do you see Mo Neal fitting into this offense?
You know, I was talking to Mo Neal's father when he was up there watching the spring game. I said, Mo Neal has a problem. Here's the problem Mo Neal has. He's really good at running back, and he's really good at wide receiver. I said, that's his problem. Now, he also has a blessing. His blessing is he's really good at running back, and he's really good at wide receiver, which means that he's going to play. I just don't know where he's going to play. You know, the guy is going to play. He's going to contribute to our football team. He's going to travel. He's going to help us win games, and we're excited about that. Now, where he plays at, we got to still wait and see.
Now, defensively, and that's always the key to winning football games because you got to make the stops. You got Zaire Franklin, and then, I mean, last year was you guys scored, but the other guys scored more. What are you doing defensively this year? I mean, are you confident it's going to get better?
Well, we spent a lot of time with our defensive coaches. We went out and talked a lot of defense with a lot of other defensive coaches just to make sure our philosophies and schemes were exactly right. We invested a lot of scholarships on our defensive side of the ball to give them more options, more choices on the student athletes that they want to play on that side of the ball to give them a better chance for success. And as you said, you know, to me, the key to football is winning the turnover battle, stopping the run, and being able to run the football on offense when you want to. It doesn't mean we got to run it every snap, but when we want to run it, we need to be able to expect a certain type of outcome. And I think that we've really addressed those things, and hopefully we addressed them enough so that we can have some success in the ACC Atlantic.
Coach, we're talking with Dino Babers, head coach of Syracuse University. I'm asking this now as an alum because I know a lot of alum out there that I covered the 87 team. That's what was my junior into senior year. A lot of people are excited about you being there, so this is a reflection. Coach Mack, Coach Pasqualoni, and then we've had a lot of issues since Coach Robinson. Fan attendance hasn't been good. What are some of the things you're trying to do, obviously besides win games, to try to bring some of these fans back and get that excitement about Syracuse football rejuvenated?
You know, the football team has to do their part. You know, Virginia Tech was a great start. You know what I mean? Now let's see if we can find a way to win 6 games and get to a bowl game. That would be fantastic as well. We're gonna do the things that we need to do. We're gonna do our part. We need to put a product on the field that represents upper state New York and the city of New York better, so that more people are willing to spend family dollars to come watch us play. Now, that being said, when it comes to recruiting, when the dome is rocking and when the dome is filled, there's nothing like it. And you want a home field advantage. You talked about all those great years, Mojo. Think about the other team's offense lining up, and the sound is deafening, and they can't communicate with each other because they're in the dome. They're in the only Power 5 school in the United States of America with a dome.